Brad Johnson.
How you doing, brother?
Great. How are you?
Doing good, man. Appreciate you having me out here.
Hey, I appreciate you hopping on, man. I'm just a nobody, so it's an honor. So thank
It's
you.
all good, man. Yeah, we'll have fun.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, how was the beach with the family?
It's good, man. We had a great time. We got a place down in Dexter. We went down there for 8 or 9 days. My other son Max, he came over, and we just don't get a lot of family time like that anymore. They keep them busy at school. And
Right.
Jake, my younger son, he's taking off in January. But we had a good time though.
Good. Glad to hear, man. All right. Well, I got a little intro, so I'll do that, and then we'll get going.
Okay.
My name's Tyler Milbert. I'm here with Super Bowl champ Brad Johnson, and this is Inside the Mind of an Athlete. All right, Brad. So I'll tell you why I kind of started this. I started this last year, kind of when the virus hit. I currently coach high school volleyball. We had a solid team last year. We would have been top 10 in the nation. This year, we actually did win the state championship over in Arizona. Felt really bad for the seniors, of course, not just at our school, but across the country and the world that missed out on a season. So I kind of just wanted to reach out, talk to them, and get their view on things and kind of go from there. So what I found out when I was doing this and talking to them, there was so much more information coming from them that can help kids coming up through the system, whether it's high school, college, professional. So I've had quite a few kids on here. I've had a pro baseball player that played for the Angels. I've had some D1 athletes for baseball. I got BYU's next quarterback was on here. He was actually my last episode, the 25th. So you're currently the 26th episode of Inside the Mind of an Athlete. So let's get going, man, and go from there. So,
all right.
I wanna know when Brad Johnson kind of knew that he was Brad Johnson and where that switch kind of flipped growing up, and then before you went to Florida State.
Yeah, great question. My parents, I grew up in Black Mountain, North Carolina. My mom was a PE teacher. She won state championship in high school. She lost as a junior, won as a senior. She went 60-1. My dad, he ran camps called Camp Ridgecrest, Camp Windshape for boys and girls, summer camps. I grew up in the camps. I grew up with a ball in my hand at all times. I love competing, love working. And I think what's kind of neat sometimes it helps to have someone believe in you, you know?
Right.
So I was in eighth grade, and I was at one of the skills camp at my dad's camp. The guy in there was named T.R. Robinson. There's only 4 other kids in the skill. We're doing basketball. And he sat down, he's like, guys, I've been around a long time. He actually coached at Cincinnati with Bill Huggins and Bob Huggins. And he said, guys, you know, I've never seen anyone work as hard as Brad Johnson. I skipped rope, I ran miles, I lifted weights, I shot basketball. And so what he did is he instilled confidence in me by telling some other people he's really talking to me. And from that point on, I said, someone believes in me.
Right.
Besides myself.
Right.
And it's really neat. Along the way, you have to have people that do believe in you. And that switch has to come on. You have to watch others that are great in front of you. There's a guy in my high school named Brad Daugherty who played in the NBA for a long time and All-American in high school. I want to be like Brad Daugherty. So the standard was already set high. The work ethic was always there. And then as I grew on, you know, I said the last person that really gave me confidence was a guy named John Gruden at Tampa. He believed in me, whether he's lying or not. He believed in me.
Right.
And that's part about being a coach too. I say lying, I'm saying teasing, but you want to instill that confidence in other people. So I was instilled by confidence by a guy named T.R. Robinson, my parents, and obviously John Gruden along the way.
Love it. Love to hear it. So it gets me to my next question is, obviously if Florida State's reaching out to you, I'm sure other colleges are reaching out to you. So why Florida State? Why the Noles?
Yeah, you know, growing up in North Carolina, I was guy I just told you about, Brad Daugherty. He went to Carolina. A guy named Roy Williams. He coached at my high school.
Yeah,
Carolina nuts. And I was an all-state basketball player. Scored 2,392 points in high school. Was the player of the year coming out of North Carolina. Was All-American in football, but I didn't know what I really wanted to play. As far as I was a better basketball player than a football player coming out of high school. And so the guy that I really wanted to go to was a guy named Bobby Crimmins at Georgia Tech.
Okay.
So Coach Crimmins said, Brad, you got a scholarship. You can come to Georgia Tech and play basketball. But he says, what do you think you have the greater chance of being professional? I said, well, probably pro football. And so at that time, Bobby says, well, Brad, I got a guy here named Dennis Scott, who was a parade All-American coming out of high school, 11-year NBA player.
Right.
And he said, you'll probably sit the bench behind Dennis Scott. I said, Bobby, Coach Crimmins, I appreciate that. But he gave me wisdom. And it wasn't about selling his program. It was like, what's best for me? And so when I chose Florida State, Coach Bowden, he was a legend then, one of the all-time greatest coaches ever. I knew it was a top 10 school. I knew it was a place I'd get a great education. I knew it was a place I'd be seen and we'd have a chance to play for a national championship. And then Florida State, they also gave me the chance to play both sports. I actually played 2 years of basketball at Florida State. But Florida State, I'm very thankful for my time there. Very, very extremely competitive. Mark Richt became my head coach. Became my quarterback coach, and now later was the head coach at Georgia, and later became my brother-in-law. So Florida State was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Love it. So you're growing up, you're a two-sport athlete, possibly more. But so me personally, coming from a small town in New Hampshire growing up, I was a three-sport athlete. Now living out here in Arizona, coaching at a big 5A school, I noticed there's not a lot of definitely no three-sport athletes and hardly any two-sport athletes. And I think it's just the bigger systems, and there's a lot of club now, AAU or club volleyball or what it may be. But what is kind of your advice to a kid coming up and kind of being like, I just want to do this sport because if I don't do this, they won't see me and they won't think that I'm working hard in the off season. Where me personally, I say your kid, have fun. Like, it'll all come. But what is your advice to those kids coming up?
It's a great question. I would tell kids as they grow up, follow your passion, And if you want to play all three sports, play all three sports. Go for it. Do your thing, man. Go for it. I do think being a multi-sport athlete does help. If you're playing basketball, you're learning it's a man, is it zone, is it a half court, is it a full court press, a half court press, is it what's the time, the situation? We need a three, we need a two. So you just learn situations.
Right.
I do think there's a lot of carryover from sport to sport. I do. What's happening now is you're having so many footballs become year-round. Basketballs become year-round. So you feel like if I'm ever going to make it to the top, then I got to concentrate on one thing. I would tell you to get down to two sports as long as you can. And if you're that elite kid, then do one. But I'm going to be honest with you, too. I really think football coaches and basketball coaches at the high school need to talk. And I think they need to figure out the month of June, because that's when football, basketball, baseball, wrestling takes in the month of June. They're doing 2 or 3 sports a day in June. And then they want to go to college camps on top of that and be evaluated. I think the athletic director needs to step in of all the schools, especially between football and basketball, and let these kids play multiple sports. And then when you get in July, let the kids focus on that one sport, which is probably football at that time, but encourage these kids to play more sports. So we're losing on that.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree. We have tryouts for volleyball in the spring, and basketball's still going on. So, and that's just. And I have my views on volleyball as a sport, and I love it. But I understand kids would choose baseball. A lot of kids would choose baseball over volleyball and so on. But it's just that overlap. It's not even the football and the basketball that I see. I see it the opposite when basketball comes around. So it's basketball is still going and volleyball tryouts are going on. It's like, how are we giving these kids a chance to do what they want to do what they love? And I can only imagine if volleyball is going on, baseball is also going on. So these basketball kids, how are they supposed to be seen by these coaches? And I feel like it's just such a downer on the kids. So I completely agree that they need to go. The athletic director needs to step in and say, hey, this is whatever they talk about. But I think it definitely is a discussion that needs to be had for sure.
It does. It's hard for a player to really speak up. It's hard for a parent to really speak up, because then, like, you feel like you're complaining, And
Right.
it's hard. It's hard. Football coach, they want to dominate it. Basketball, they want to dominate their sport. That's why they were hired at their school. But there really needs to be some kind of like how many kids are actually playing multiple sports. And so maybe we're not worried about the 50, but maybe it's 3, 4, 5 kids we're talking about. Let's
Right.
don't lose those kids playing multiple sports.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, Going into your NFL career, you played 15 years. Congratulations. Um, that was, I mean, football's soft, if you will, now, with all these officiating, throwing the flags early, like when the quarterback's not even technically down, they're blowing the whistle. So 15 years, you played in a rough era for sure. How do you think your body handled all those years?
I'm numb now. I hurt. I actually played 17, so a lot of people don't know
Okay.
it's actually 17, but it comes out 15 on the Wikipedia and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But but to be honest with you, yeah, when you sign up for sports or anything, there's going to be a grind. There's going to be a sacrifice. I
Yeah.
know what I signed up for, and they say sometimes it's not a matter of if you get hurt; it's just a matter of when. So
Right.
I've had multiple surgeries, things like that. But I think you have to take care of the players, especially at that level.
Right.
You have to take care of the players. Shorten down maybe they've done a pretty good job of it, honestly, as far as the wear and tear of the off season,
Hmm.
having less padded practices, um, more concussion protocol that takes place. Now they did add a 17th game in the NFL instead of 16.
Right.
Guys are getting paid for it more, but I do think they have to protect the players like they are doing. So protect the quarterback. You as a fan, me as a fan now, you want to see Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Mahomes. You want to see them on game day. So
Right.
protect them in the pocket. Uh, the receivers are not getting mauled and tackled at the line of scrimmage, but also protect them when they're taking, going across the middle, not taking the knockout punches by DBs. So I
Right.
don't think they should fine them as much as they are. I think they should take away maybe a little bit of playing time here and there, a quarter, stuff like that. But the fines
Right.
are getting a bit too steep. I do feel, but we want to see points scored as a fan.
Right.
Protect the quarterback, protect the players. Those lives are at stake, and I'm at 52 now. I'm going to need 2 knee surgeries myself, so it
Yeah.
comes with the game.
Gotcha. Um, with that being said, you got the Vikings, the Redskins, the Buccaneers, the
Right.
Cowboys. I actually work with a guy who's a Cowboy fan, and he's like, Brad Johnson's always a Cowboy to me.
Right.
Uh, but those teams you played for, uh, what did you feel more love from a certain city? I know the Vikings you played most of your career at, um, but just kind of just the different areas you were able to be a part of the communities. How was that looking back on?
Yeah, I am so grateful to play in the NFL. 17 years, 4 different organizations. Not many people ever just stay with one organization nowadays, especially with free agency. So, listen, when things are good, people are going to cheer for you. When things don't go good, they're not going to cheer for you. But I had great moments at each place. And I think about all the relationships, all the coaches that I played for, Bobby Bowden at Florida State, Mark Richt, Denny Green, Brian Billick, Tony Dungy in Minnesota, um, Washington, Norv Turner, Tampa had Dungy again, and John Gruden and Wade Phillips and Jason Garrett in Dallas. So, man, I was blessed to play with so many great coaches, um, so many great players. A lot of those guys went on to make Hall of Fame. A lot of those guys now you see them on commentating on games, or see them on Monday
Right.
Night Football calling games. So, I mean, I think it was pretty cool. It first started in Minnesota, then especially in Tampa, as they were Tony Dungy, was they really promoted, hey guys, we're blessed to be playing this game, but impact your community. So Tuesdays were our day off, and so they had different projects or different community groups. You may go to a school, you may go and read a book, or talk to a PE class. You may go to a boys and girls club. You may go to the hospital. So we got used to being active in the community, trying to make a difference. A lot of people have gone on to make, obviously foundations for themselves and try to impact the communities in those ways too. So it's pretty
Right.
neat to see the impact that coaches did. Hey, get out in the community, make a difference, and then what we've done with our lives after our playing days.
Gotcha. That's awesome. I know, like you see, especially on the commercials and the promotions and the ads. Like the NFL definitely does reach out to the community, and it's a great thing to see. Me personally, I grew up a Patriots fan. I'm from New Hampshire, so New England all the way. That's why I got the Brady. I did say if I ever get a Buccaneers Brady shirt, it will be with the Super Bowl patch. So here we are.
You got it. You got it.
So you played Super Bowl 37. You won. You were against the Raiders. Now, my question is, the year before, it was a Tuck Rule game. So I want to get your opinion on that one. And then two, now you have John Gruden on your team in the Super Bowl against the Raiders the following year. So do you think he had kind of an inside on their game plan, or how do you think that Super Bowl went?
Yeah, I'm going to flip the script on you here in a second, okay?
Yeah, I love it.
It was pretty awesome being with Gruden because he said, Brad, it should never come down to the Tuck Rule. If we would have got the 4th and 1 up in New England when he was with Oakland in the snow, the game would have been over. It would have been over. So he takes the blame. But the Tuck Rule, the rules are the rules. Sometimes you don't know how those things are called. I mean, you got reviews, red flags. It's hard. I watch it 100 times sometimes on TV, and I can't figure out the answer either sometimes. So whatever they call, and you got to live with it on both sides. The ball bounces on both ways. So the Tuck Rule, New England wins, so be it. They earned it is the way I look at it. So with John Gruden, he was the coach at Oakland. He came to Tampa. And when he came to Tampa, we made, I think, 15 to 19 moves in free agency. We brought in on offense Keenan McCardell, Joe Jurevicius, Ricky Dudley, Ken Dilger, Roman Oben, Kerry Jenkins, Michael Pittman. I mean, the list goes on. Pittman, And so we upgraded in a lot of different areas. And so when we played the Oakland Raiders, everybody says, well, we knew their offense. Well, what's so crazy where I'm flipping the script on you, he was their coach for 4 years. They ran the same offense.
That's true. Yeah.
They should have known our offense better than we did. Let's be honest.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
So, I mean, it's funny what perceptions, people's thoughts. But that day we had two really, really good teams. Rich Gannon, the quarterback for them, was the MVP of the league. They had some tremendous Jerry Rice and Tim Brown and Romanowski. I mean, they had some legends. And that day was just our day. And then we've had some guys go on. Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, John Lynch now make the Hall of Fame. Hopefully two more here in Simeon Rice and Rondé Barber. So a lot of great players. It was just our day.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm glad you mentioned all those guys because when you started saying when you kind of loaded up and you got 19 guys, Pittman's the one I knew personally because I was 11 years old when that happened. But I knew like the Mike Allstotts, the Warren Sapp, the Derek Brooks, John Lynch, and Rondé Barber. So it's cool to see that. I mean, obviously those are the big names, but you remember the other guys that maybe a lot of other people may not know, or maybe Bucks fans know them, but other people in the country don't. But
it's really cool. And I'm interrupting you.
No, you're
fine. On that team, I gave you the guys at the Hall of Fame and that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, like Shuck Quarles, our middle linebacker, freaking leader of the team, stud. Greg Spires, left defensive end. Al Singleton, linebacker. Brian Kelly, corner. Dexter Jackson was the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But then we had some
interceptions.
Yeah, but offensively, we scored a lot of points that we don't get credit for, and that's okay. That's okay because we got the ring. You know what I mean? So sometimes you don't get what people the perceptions, but it was so many players having their best season and just playing together, and it's pretty awesome. And Keyshawn Johnson, I didn't mention him either. So we had studs all over the field on both sides of the ball, and a lot of unsung heroes, but we all got to wear the ring.
Right, exactly. And I mean, you guys went 12-4 that year, if I remember. So, I mean, it's not like it wasn't a luck. It wasn't a luck win. So, I do want to ask you about Brady's decision going to the Bucks, because my personal opinion, great offense. You know, they had a great defense. Being out in Arizona now, I saw what Arians and Bowles did together when they had Carson Palmer years ago, and they fell short to the Panthers in the championship. But to me personally, Brady had something to prove. The Super Bowl was in Tampa. No home team has hosted a Super Bowl. Never mind, won the Super Bowl there. So in me just, I don't know, thinking Brady's the GOAT. I think like he's like, this is, if I have something to prove at all, it's I'm going to this team. This has never happened. I'm going to go make it happen. So what are your thoughts on that? And also, were you at that game at all, or did you get to meet him at any of the games or practices? Or
Right. Uh, every point you bring up is great. First time I met Tom was we did a quarterback challenge in 2003. So I got to meet him there, and I was like, man, this guy's a competitive dude. You know, I actually won that day, but I was like, damn, Brady. I mean, he gets after it, man. I'm like, I see why he's a stud. He's young at that time. And then,
yeah,
we played against him on Monday night, and he beat our brains in when I was in Minnesota. He's in New England. But, the dude's competitive. He's smart. He's tough. He's relentless. He's been to 10 Super Bowls, won 7, lost 3, lost in 4 AFC championship games. So when he left, I have no clue why, what happened. But when you're leaving, I left 3 different organizations. I want to give it back to him.
right, yeah,
I want to beat the brand, and that's what he's done. And at one point this season, they were 7-5, 7-5, lost 3 out of 4 in November.
right,
But I'm sure when he chose the team, he's like, I'm not going there for my health. I'm going there to win. And defensively, they had one of the best defenses in the league the year before. They turned the ball over at a rapid rate. But Tom's a guy who takes care of the ball, and he gets the best out of others. And so we talked about the guys that we brought in when I was a free agent. Well, they brought in, I think, 10 this year.
yeah,
And you got to have talent, you got to have weapons, and you got to have just some luck along the way too. So, I think the hardest part probably for Tom, I'm speaking for him,
right,
I think just learning a new system and going from somewhere he had the playbook in the back of his hand, teaching everybody where he had to go learn Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich and Clyde Christensen and Tom Moore. That system, the way they want to call it, the way they want to read it out. And I'm sure there were some tough meetings that took place behind closed doors. They finally put it together. They scored 145 points off of turnovers during the regular season. They scored 45 in the playoffs during the playoffs. So it takes on both sides, just like our team. You got to be at full tilt, especially at the end of the season in the playoffs.
yeah, agreed. Yeah. So again, that's why I got this Buck shirt on. Brady fan, I'll die a Brady fan, and I honestly don't hold anything against him for leaving. I truly feel New England didn't treat him right. I mean, free agency, one of the best guys that got him was Randy Moss. And you saw what they did in 07. Unfortunately, they fell short somehow to Eli. But especially with other free agents, I think it was time for him to go. The rumors about him going to the Niners instead of Garoppolo, I don't know if any are true, but your name popped up, and if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. Deflategate, okay? Deflategate. Back in the day, you had DeQuell Jackson for the Colts intercept the ball. They were trying to say that he said that this ball is soft. Now, during the whole interviewing process, they never asked him one thing. He said when he was on Barstool Sports, he said he caught the ball. Obviously, it was off Tom Brady, so he brought it to the guys and said, this is my souvenir. I want to keep this. So once Deflategate happened and the soft footballs, or deflated, if you will, your name popped up, and a couple others did. But what's kind of your? I don't care what analysts have to say. I don't care what scientists have to say. I want to know what a football player who has played in the NFL has to say about it.
Yeah, I really don't know about the whole thing of Deflategate, to be honest with you. I really don't. I don't know the whole thing. So it's funny if the Tampa Bay Lightning, they just won the Stanley Cup, correct?
Right. Yeah.
If they don't like a puck, what do? They change the puck.
Yeah.
If you're watching Wimbledon and Roger Federer, he doesn't like the tennis ball, what does he do? He gets rid of it, right? Yeah. And then same thing in baseball. They if they don't like the baseball, they give the umpire a new base. They get new baseball. You know. So basketball, they do the same thing. In football, here's where the rules have changed. So it used to be a long time ago. There was 12 footballs, and both teams had to share the footballs.
Okay.
So I may like it different than you. But you still had to play with it on the road. The balls
Mm-hmm.
are different. So if anybody goes into Academy Sports or Dick's Sporting Goods, you can't throw a ball straight, brand new out of the deal, correct?
Right. Yeah.
And so then they made a rule where I would have 12 footballs, and then you would have 12 footballs, and so you get to play with those footballs, and I would play with the footballs that we have, correct?
Yeah.
And so then they had these kickers were going crazy with these footballs, blowing them up, and so then they have 12 kicking balls on the side that have K on them. So I have 12 footballs. The opponent has 12 footballs, and we have our own ball boys. And there's 12 kicking balls that are special on the side, and they're labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way through 12. And so kickoff is 1, punt is 2, extra point 3, kickoff 4. It rolls like that. And they keep rolling 12, and you start back with 1. So in the Super Bowl, they have 108 footballs. 108. And after every play, those balls go to a sponsor.
Okay.
After play 1, play ball's thrown out, it goes to Coca-Cola. Play 2, it goes to Miller Lite. Play 3, it goes to wherever. So that's what happens. When we get to the final 8 balls, then they roll those 8 balls. So a long time ago, the balls were never worked in. And so now what they do is, about 10 years ago, they made a rule. Peyton Manning, I think, I'm going to say Drew Brees and maybe Brady, I'm not sure. They went to the league and said, hey, let's work in the Super Bowl balls. You know, get them the way they should be worked in. If the fans want to see points, we're going to protect quarterbacks like we went back in the rule and receivers. Let's at least have a ball that's playable.
Yeah.
You know, so I think let the guys play with the ball that's on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like it's an illegal substance or anything like that happening.
Right.
The ball, if you can punt it, kick it, and throw it, and catch it, then let them play with the ball. Like, don't let the game be affected by the way the ball is. And I don't think the way the Deflategate it was, or even our Super Bowl, same way.
Agreed. So speaking about rule changes, the NFL this year said starting 2022, so January and on, the throwback jerseys are coming back. They'll be able to come back. What are your thoughts on that? Personally, I love the Patriots throwbacks. The Bucks, obviously, they got that burnt orange, and what are your thoughts on it coming back? And also, what are your thoughts on them taking it away years ago?
There's a process the league has, so they're going to make their money,
right.
You know. But I do think it's pretty cool that you have throwback games and you see the different uniforms of the past, and whether it's Tampa Bay with the creamsicles, you know, it's pretty cool for that one day. They took a break, and then get it, and then they're going to sell all the hats and T-shirts. They're going to make a lot of money on the jerseys and all the above. So I love it when they have throwback games. I think it's pretty cool. And as a fan, you're going to probably buy one of those jerseys, and they can make a lot more money. But I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll go. You got 2 kids. Max, obviously LSU quarterback, and then Jake. You said he's off. He's off. Where's he headed?
He's a senior this year, and he's committed to LSU, and he'll go there in January.
Awesome. What made them choose the Tigers?
Wow, it's a great question. I probably need to let them answer it, but basically, with Max, he's been recruited by a lot of different schools, and so, you know, growing up as a kid, he's watched me at Florida State and going to all those games. He's born in Tallahassee, and then they grew up here in Athens, Georgia, where their uncles, Mark Richt, the head coach at Georgia, but then he left and was head coach at Miami. And then we had some other schools in play too. I don't want to go through the whole list, but at the end of the day, for Max, he wanted to blaze his own trail. Didn't want to follow I'm like my dad at Florida State, or playing here in Athens at Georgia, or go to Miami and play for his uncle. And it's just, he want to be his own guy. Yeah. And a place where he felt like he could, same reason why I want to go to Florida State for me, he felt like he could be a part of a top 10 program every year, a chance to play for championships, a chance to win it all. And so they have to work for it and all the above. And the same thing for Jake, my younger son. He had every opportunity to go to whatever schools he wanted to, and just felt like at the end of the day, it felt like could play, could compete, be a part of big time games in the SEC, and you know, hopefully win a championship. That's what it's all about for them. And then they'll get a great education along the way too.
Love it. All right, and then college, obviously, they just passed the NIL. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot going on. I think we got to let the smoke clear. I do get it. I do believe in, if you have a chance to make money off something yourself, I think you should do it. It's going to be interesting how the kids handle it. Are they even going to pay their taxes? I mean, you have mom and dad out there saying paraphernalia before games. Are you just worried about your followers and likes and stuff like that to up your ante? So we're losing a little bit of the purist of the sport. But kids are going to have to grow up a lot faster. Right. I don't think it's going to be for everybody. There's going to be some jealousy amongst kids on each team. How much are you making? What are you doing? Sometimes you need to keep what's first is why you went to school to to be on a team, to compete and win championships, and it will all take care of itself. But if these kids can figure it out, then more power to them. It's a lot to work through, though.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. All right. Last thing, Brad. So I was on Instagram. I came across a reel of your TikTok. So you got the Big Bad Brad. How'd that come about? Why trick shots? I mean, obviously they're cool, but what is the trick shots why you started TikToks, or how'd that all start?
Yeah, my kids, I got on TikTok about a year or so ago. I started thumbing through that stuff, and I said, you know what? I'm going to come up with a name. Big Bad Brad, 14, just kind of being silly. And so I put a bunch of videos of my playing days and workout videos and stuff. You can scroll, you find all of them. I said, you know what? I got some trick shots that are pretty good. I played football and basketball. And so I just made kind of fun with it, Yeah. And so hopefully people enjoy. I don't know how social media honestly really, really works. I just got Instagram probably about 2 months ago, so I'm making a lot of mistakes on it. But hopefully everyone can enjoy my TikTok page. I do it for fun. I actually got my hat here. Right here, it's called Big Bad.
I was hoping you had it.
So there it is. So on the side, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this hat real quick, okay? So here's the Roman numerals, Super Bowl 37. There's a little pendant there. My nickname in college was the Bull. I can't see that. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Okay, gotcha.
But that's where we are. And so after I make these shots, I'm like, this reminds me of Ric Flair or something, taunting the camera, you know what I mean? And just having fun with it. That it's all humor. Hopefully everyone can enjoy the videos and get laughter, and they go try some of these trick shots too. And then actually going to start like a little merchandise deal and hopefully raise a lot of money with hats and T-shirts. Everything will go to charity, and that's kind of where I'm headed with this whole thing. So, but I have fun. It amuses me. I've caught up with a couple other people, and we're trying to do hopefully something on national stage at some point. There's a lot of talented people out there, so we'll see what happens.
Well, if you get that Big Bad Brad 14 hat made, I need one. So
it'll be fun.
It's for sure. Well, I just want to thank you once again for coming on, Brad. It's been an honor. Didn't think this would happen again. When I reached out, it wasn't I wasn't entailed. I was just in the hospital room with my wife, going through your videos, just laughing. And when you hit the field goal post, just doink. Like that's like, I mean, I don't know if I was overtired or what, but I was dying laughing at that.
Yeah, no doubt. That's what I mean. Honestly, when I hit that doink, like some of them are easy, some of them are hard.
Right.
And when it goes in, like it's true exhilaration. You know what I mean? Love it. And so I've had fun doing it. But I appreciate guys like you though, and that's where I've kind of reached out some guys that haven't really gotten in the business yet. Yeah. And you're starting up yours and getting going. But I appreciate you reaching out. And sometimes you got to take a chance on things, and you got me. So it's been fun. Though. I appreciate it.
Well, again, I appreciate you as well. So I hope everything goes well with the boys at LSU. Continue doing what you're doing. Hopefully you can get this thing going on a national stage and get that Big Bad Brad 14 hat out there, because I'm definitely a customer of that. So been an honor, Brad. I appreciate it. Once again, guys, my name is Tyler Milbert, here with Super Bowl champ Brad Johnson. And this is Inside the Mind of an Athlete. Thanks, Brad.
I appreciate it, Tyler. Thank you for having me on the show, buddy. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks.